first National Gallery of Victoria opened in 1861 and was housed in the public library. The building was designed by the colonial architect Sir Joseph Reed and modelled on the British Museum. Many grand projects were being realised at the time, built by ambitious and energetic Melbourneians. Within the 5-year period starting from 1857, the Queen Victoria Market and the Melbourne Zoo were founded. Construction began on the General Post Office, Trades Hall and Spencer Street train station were opened. The first football match was held. Melbourne's population hit 125,000. City streets were lit up with gas lighting. Intercity telegraph services were established, and Burke and Wills set off from Royal Park on their ill-fated expedition. The year 1861 was a big one for both sport and art. The first Melbourne Cup was run and Australia's first Museum of Art was founded. Of course, this was also the time of the gold rush, and the Museum of Art was also the beneficiary of this flush of riches pulled out of the ground. The early NGV was profoundly Eurocentric in its orientation. Local artists were terribly dismissed. It was not until the 1890s that the gallery really began to collect Australian works, and that was largely through the encouragement of the director Lindsay Bernard Hall, who came out from England to take up the post and remain in it for an astounding 43 years. A hugely significant event occurred in 1905, which was to profoundly change the prospects of the NGV. Up to now, the NGV was a provincial gallery holding a basic collection of European paintings and a growing Australian collection. In 1904, this situation was forever changed when the local businessman Alfred Felton passed away and left an enormous fortune to the gallery. He left over £300,000, around $40 million in today's money, of which half was to go to charities and half to be used in permanence to acquire works for the gallery. In one very unexpected gesture, he transformed the prospects of the gallery, finally transferring to Roy Grounds' new custom-designed building in 1968. The lavish and much-anticipated opening of the recited National Gallery of Victoria was held on the brisk winter evening of Tuesday, the 20th of August 1968. The new building on St Kilda Road, the first phase of the $20 million Victorian Arts Centre complex, boasted a collection valued over $25 million. Roy Grounds' National Gallery of Victoria has been a locus for controversy ever since its commissioning. At the gallery's opening in August 1968, architectural critics were divided. Some praised and some savaged this bluestone treasure house. Much of the controversy has to do with Grounds' impractical and arguably brilliant design of a giant oriental palazzo with a geometric plan, a city block in length and with 3 square courtyards inside. Grounds' design was like a renovated neoclassical palazzo castle sitting in a moat, but with oriental overtones, especially given the floating roof and its upturned eaves, with timber-gridded ceilings and the banded courtyard with its fountains, black bamboo, and bluestone pebbles, which was designed to relate directly to the collection of oriental art encircling the courtyard. Other original features of the NGV include the state's coat of arms above the entry arc, designed by Norma Redpath, the water wall, long derided as a fishmonger's window, but loved for decades by the Victorian public, the circular lift within its bush-hammered concrete core, the Victorian ash panelling in the galleries and foyer, and the Great Hall, where Leonard French's stained glass ceiling, thought to be the largest in the world, is the baronial climax to this eclectic masterwork of the late Sir Roy Grounds. On a 1960 trip to Europe and the United States with the NGV director Eric Westbrook, Grounds was inspired by the 18th century Palazzo di Capodimonte outside Naples and the medieval Castello Cerveco, Milan. Grounds was also keen to use a local stone and took the NGV Buildings Committee to look at the bluestone walls and great arc of the old Melbourne jail. The 1970s brought to the NGV a battle over modernism, with the exhibitions holding art like never before. The Modern Masters exhibition of 1975 brought in huge international works by renowned artists. Some works, however, were seen as too bold and created quite a stir in the art world. Such controversial works were described as distasteful and offensive, leading to their removal from the gallery itself. This left the movers and shakers of the 70s up in arms and outrage that the NGV was being too conservative and not allowing for the free expression of art.
Oh, let me feel what you are.
The redevelopment expanded and improved the gallery's operations, increased and improved exhibition spaces, expanded educational facilities, created a larger entry foyer to assist with public access and orientation, and extended back of house and curatorial facilities. Throughout this decade, the NGV's overall theme was getting out of touch, with a number of different directors coming in and out of the position, leaving the exhibition with different concepts and themes. Although this created a highly diverse collection, the NGV developed a lack in direction, placing less focus on local art and art funding. NGV International at 180 St. Peter Road, which contains the gallery's international artwork, was redeveloped and designed by Italian architect Mario Bellini, as well as Melbourne architecture firm Meta 3. Closing for 4 years between 1998 and 2003, the gallery received a $168 million makeover. The exterior of the NGV building remained the same, however the interior was fully gutted and restored. Some celebrated architectural elements of Roy Brown's design were maintained, including the stained glass ceiling, the gallery's entrance arch, and the redesigned and well-known water wall. The NGV was now divided into two sites as the concept for the Ian Potter Centre, NGV Australia, was developed and became home to an abundance of Australian art, including Indigenous and non-Indigenous works from the colonial period to the present day. This development, located in Federation Square, was the world's first major gallery dedicated exclusively to Australian art, consisting of 20 different galleries. Local communities praised this dedication to Australian art, with the NGV finally holding a fully diverse collection with equal importance placed on national and international works. It is not only what this building holds that makes it unique, it's the building itself, which has made its way to being an important part of Melbourne's life. There was always a divide in the city between the CBD and the Yarra River due to the railway yard. Federation Square now acts as the missing link and unites the city for the public. The need for an Australian art-based gallery, plus the upcoming centenary of Federation in 2001, generated a perfect opportunity to create a building that could culturally enhance Melbourne while expressing ideas of identity and place. In 1997, Lab Architecture Studio and Bates Smart won the design contract for Federation Square, which would prove to be one of the most challenging complexes ever built in Australia. Construction started in 1998 with the support of the Victorian State Government investing $450 million. The project opened to the public on the 26th of October 2002. This use of the triangular geometric pattern combined with the facade materials such as sandstone, zinc and glass give Federation Square its signature look. The fractal facade of the building uses systems and theories of geometry so the viewer can distinguish between individual buildings, but at the same time there is fluency and an overall coherence. One aspect that distinguishes this building as a public facility is that it is set back from the road and incorporates a city square. The square is a key space for the building and the city. It is designed to hold up to 15,000 people in its open amphitheatre. The square is surfaced in 500,000 cobblestones of multicoloured Kimberley sandstone from Mount Jallawonga, Western Australia. The impressive glass installation is a clever design, which offers an all-year-round weather-protected space for the city. It houses private galleries, restaurants and cafes, and allows for exhibitions, product displays, launches, artistic installations, showcases and markets. Together, the Ian Potter Gallery and the NGV are the heart of Melbourne's diverse art culture. The architecture of the buildings themselves contributes to the city's social identity and urban environment.